So we'll start here before we get to the outrage, the crash outs, the backlash, the crying, the weeping that Caitlin Clark's got so many games on a national platform. Because there's a lot of fans, and I've noticed, Asia Wilson and Aces fans, they're crying their eyes out because their beloved don't have as many national platform games.
The Indiana Fever just dropped news that all 44 games hit national broadcasts, and the backlash is absolutely wild. Asia Wilson supporters are furious. Aces fans are in full meltdown mode. Someone connected to an Atlanta Dream co-owner is ranting on social media about refusing to tune in. The discourse has devolved so far that critics are now taking shots at Caitlin Clark's looks. All this outrage stems from networks choosing to air games that actually pull viewers. The salt from the haters is genuinely entertaining. When your squad lands every single game on national television because the numbers definitively show you're the sole player driving real viewership, and supporters of championship-winning teams start publicly losing it because nobody's interested in their 3 titles compared to your audience poll, does that mean you've completely shattered the WNBA status quo, or does it simply confirm the league finally landed a star the networks consider worth the investment?
I mean, it's hard to believe we're talking about a sport and there being a fallout over the fact that there has been an announcement that all 44 games for the Indiana Fever will be on some kind of a national platform, whether it's...
Let's break down the absolute chaos erupting right now over the Indiana Fever's announcement that all 44 games will air on national platforms. Not a selection of games, not the majority, but literally every single one. ESPN, ABC, CBS, Peacock, Prime Video, ION. If you want to catch the Fever, you'll find them somewhere nationally, and the opposition is completely unhinged about it. First, let's establish what actually went down here. The Fever just secured the most national television coverage for any individual team in WNBA history. Every game accessible on some national outlet. This is massive because it effectively makes WNBA League Pass pointless for Fever supporters. No subscription necessary anymore since every game is reachable either free or through streaming platforms most people already subscribe to. That's the Caitlin Clark phenomenon in full effect. Now sure, there are some valid complaints about needing to navigate multiple streaming services. It's legitimately annoying that certain games land on Peacock, others on Prime, some on ION. The NFL faces identical issues, and the federal government is actually pursuing antitrust investigations against them because these games were meant for free over-the-air access. MLB is caught up in that same investigation. So yeah, streaming fragmentation represents a genuine problem that might eventually create legal headaches for these leagues. But that's not the real source of people's anger. They're not upset about streaming complications or access barriers. They're enraged that Caitlin Clark is receiving this level of exposure. They're absolutely livid that the Fever are being positioned as the league's most significant team, and their reactions are completely deranged.
CC as the prime star? Look, this was absolutely noticed by people. Why is the GOAT of the WNBA not in front? No one's watching the Fever to see Mitchell. Why do you keep degrading Clark? Hey, right there. Yeah. For real. I mean, wow.
Wow. Let's dig into this. Start with the promotional image the Fever used for this announcement. The graphic features Kelsey Mitchell positioned prominently in the center. Caitlin Clark appears off to the side, smaller, less emphasized. Fever supporters immediately caught this and were furious. Why isn't Caitlin Clark centered? Why is women's basketball's biggest star relegated to the background? This doesn't happen without Caitlin. Period.
TV games, once again, Indiana Fever. What is with this graphic? Put Caitlin Clark in the front. I mean, this is exactly how I'm going to tell you right now. This is exactly how Stephanie White views this team. That graphic actually sums it up. I'm sorry. I'm keeping it real. There ain't no other way I'm going to interpret that. Right here. Bro, nobody is watching because of Mitchell. Put Caitlin Clark front and center.
And they're completely correct. That graphic is genuinely insulting. It demonstrates the Fever front office still hasn't fully grasped or acknowledged who actually generates interest in this franchise. Kelsey Mitchell is a solid player, but nobody's purchasing League Pass for Kelsey Mitchell. Nobody's attending games because of Kelsey Mitchell. The Fever transformed from irrelevant to America's team because of one player. That graphic should acknowledge that reality. And here's where things get really fascinating. While Fever fans are justifiably irritated about the graphic, Caitlin Clark haters are having complete breakdowns about the 44-game announcement itself. These meltdowns are revealing just how bitter and disconnected from reality these people are.
Why do you have the most popular female player on the background? She should be in the center of the photo, but she's not because she's white and you guys are anti-Caucasian racist. Woo! I mean, mad. Mad. Yet you put CC in the background, not front and center. What the F is wrong with you? This doesn't happen without Caitlin.
Let's start with someone connected to Renee Montgomery, co-owner of the Atlanta Dream. This individual posted on social media saying they haven't won anything, but will be the most viewed on TV by y'all. I'm still not watching or attending their games even when they face the Dream. Year 2 for me choosing this. Read that again. This person is so enraged that the Fever secured national TV games that they're publicly declaring their refusal to watch or attend. This is someone linked to a WNBA team owner. They're throwing a tantrum because Caitlin Clark is popular. The pettiness is absolutely remarkable. The they haven't won anything argument is hilarious because winning championships doesn't automatically generate popularity or value to networks. The Dallas Cowboys haven't claimed a championship in 3 decades, yet they're still America's team with maximum national TV coverage. It's about ratings, not championships. Then you've got A'ja Wilson and Aces supporters absolutely spiraling. Overhyped and overrated. This move will backfire. Another one. One of the dumbest decisions the WNBA's ever made. Hype them when they've actually accomplished something like 3 titles in 4 years like the Aces have. Let me explain something to these people since they clearly don't grasp how television operates. Networks select which games to broadcast. Not the league, not the teams, the networks. Networks pick games based on one factor: which games will people actually watch? Which games generate advertising revenue? Which games justify the investment? And the data is crystal clear. Fever games demolish everything else in the WNBA for viewership. It's not remotely close. We're talking about Fever games outperforming the All-Star game. Regular season Fever matchups pulling better ratings than marquee events featuring every league star. That's how dominant Caitlin Clark is as a draw. Examine the ratings data. There's a graphic displaying WNBA games exceeding 1 million viewers this season. Nearly every single game on that list includes the Fever. There's one game without the Fever that crossed 1 million viewers. One. And yes, the Aces were in that game. Out of dozens of games hitting the million-viewer threshold, only one didn't involve Caitlin Clark. That reveals everything about who actually drives ratings. But these haters see those numbers and still don't comprehend. I don't care how many nationally televised games any other team has. It just baffles me that Vegas isn't tied for the most, despite constantly winning. Like winning 3 championships in 4 years with the same core isn't reason enough. No, winning championships isn't reason enough. Because championships don't automatically convert to viewership. The Las Vegas Aces are an excellent team. A'ja Wilson is an excellent player, but nobody cares. The ratings confirm it. Aces finals games got crushed by regular season Fever games. That's not opinion, that's data. Networks make decisions based on data, not feelings about who deserves national TV games. This is fundamental business. This is how every sport functions. The Lakers receive maximum national TV games even when they're struggling because people watch Lakers games. The Cowboys get maximum national TV games despite not winning a championship in 3 decades because people watch Cowboys games. The Fever are now the WNBA's equivalent of the Lakers and Cowboys. They're America's team. They're the ratings engine. Networks will broadcast their games because that's where the audience exists. But try explaining that to these haters, and they just spiral further. You all want that girl to be the face over A'ja so bad, it's too late. She's already the face over A'ja. Yeah, she is. Not because of some conspiracy. It's because Caitlin Clark is the most popular player in women's basketball by an enormous margin. She sells tickets, drives ratings, moves merchandise. She's the reason the WNBA just secured a huge new media rights deal. Networks aren't stupid. They recognize who's actually valuable. Then the comments turned really ugly. I mean, genuinely ugly. People started attacking Caitlin Clark's appearance. They act like she's the only player in the league. So tired of seeing her and her big nose. That's where we're at. Haters are so furious about Caitlin Clark's success they're resorting to attacking her physical appearance. That's the level of bitterness and jealousy we're dealing with. These people can't handle that. A player they dislike is more popular than players they favor. So they lash out with personal attacks. Another comment. CC didn't earn it. They give it to her. A'ja and A'ja are the most deserving in the W. This might be the stupidest take of all. Caitlin Clark didn't earn national TV games. She only shattered every possible attendance and ratings record. She only made the WNBA relevant to mainstream audiences for the first time in league history. She only sold out arenas everywhere she played. She only generated more merchandise revenue than the rest of the league combined. But sure, she didn't earn it. Networks are just giving her coverage out of charity. The delusion is absolutely staggering. These people genuinely believe A'ja Wilson deserves more national TV games than Caitlin Clark. Based on what? Championships? Nobody watches Aces games. The ratings confirm it. The Aces couldn't even sell out their own finals games, but somehow they deserve more national exposure than the player actually bringing in viewers. That's the disconnect. These haters think the WNBA should reward winning with national TV exposure. But that's not how television operates. Television rewards ratings. Caitlin Clark gets ratings. A'ja Wilson doesn't. It's that simple. The comparison to the Lakers and Cowboys is perfect. Neither team has been particularly successful recently, but they get maximum national TV games because people watch. Sports media discusses the Lakers and Cowboys constantly, not because those teams are good, but because ratings increase when they discuss them. Critics and media companies track their ratings minute by minute. When they talk about LeBron or the Lakers or the Cowboys, they watch their numbers rise in real time. That's why those teams dominate coverage. Same thing with Caitlin Clark and the Fever. When networks broadcast Fever games, ratings climb. When they broadcast Aces games, ratings are terrible. So why would networks want to broadcast Aces games? Out of some sense of fairness? That's not how business operates. But these haters don't understand business. They don't understand ratings. They don't understand that the WNBA isn't a charity designed to provide equal exposure to every team regardless of popularity. It's a business. Businesses make decisions based on what generates revenue. Fever games generate revenue. Aces games don't. End of story. One person commented, "The national media is pushing her." Yeah, they are, because she's worth pushing. The WNBA finally has a player who transcends the sport, who brings in casual fans, who makes the league relevant to mainstream audiences. And you're mad the media is capitalizing on that? That's insane. Another brilliant take, the WNBA is trying to force Caitlin Clark on us. Yes, she's a great three-point shooter, but there are also others. WNBA champs should be seen more. Nobody is forcing anything. People are choosing to watch Caitlin Clark. Networks are choosing to broadcast her games because people watch. If people wanted to watch A'ja Wilson and the Aces, networks would broadcast those games. But people don't want to watch the Aces. The ratings prove it, so networks don't broadcast them. That's not forcing anything. That's responding to consumer demand. The really pathetic part is watching these people try to diminish what Caitlin Clark does. She's a great three-point shooter, but there are also others. Yeah, there are other good three-point shooters. But there's only one player who can push the pace, hit full-court passes, create offense in transition, and dominate games in a way that makes casual fans want to tune in. That's not just about shooting threes. That's about being a complete player who plays an exciting style that translates to television. And here's what these haters really don't want to acknowledge. We're heading into Caitlin Clark's third year as a professional. This isn't new anymore. This isn't a rookie phenomenon that'll fade. She's established. She's proven. The ratings have been consistent. Every year she's in the league will be like this. Every year, Fever games will dominate WNBA coverage, because Fever games get viewers and other games don't. And ironically, by having these public meltdowns about Caitlin Clark getting all 44 games on national TV, these haters are proving exactly why networks want to broadcast Fever games. Because people care. People have strong reactions. People engage with the content. That's valuable to networks and advertisers. If the Aces were getting 44 national TV games and nobody cared enough to complain, that would actually be a bad sign. It would mean people are indifferent. But Caitlin Clark generates passionate responses, both positive and negative, and passionate responses translate to viewership and engagement, which is exactly what networks want. So to all the haters melting down about this announcement, thank you. You're proving why the networks made the right decision. Your tears and complaints and bitter social media posts are generating engagement and keeping Caitlin Clark in the headlines. You're doing the network's marketing for them. Keep it up.